Joined by Carlton CEO Graham Wright. Righty, thanks for having us. It's been a while since we last spoke. First off, how have you found the first 6 months in the new role?
Yeah, it's been great. Been busy, really busy. Obviously, a busy off season with a lot of changes from a team perspective and a football department perspective. But also too, we've had our women's team make the finals and get through to a prelim. So there's a lot of footy still to be played at the back end of last year from that perspective. So it's been busy.
We've seen a lot of movement in the AFL footy department in the off season with both new players and a brand new coaching department. How have you observed those in the early going?
Listen, we haven't won or lost a game at this stage, so it's always positive. But no, I think the changes, we had 6 coaches overall, 11 players, obviously a new head of football. There's been a lot of changes from a holistic point of view from a football department or men's football department perspective. And we're really comfortable with where that's tracking and going. I mean, those guys have come in and hit the ground running, new ideas, new IP. And then the players as well appear to have really responded to that. And yeah, it's been very different. And as you would have seen out of our game on Wednesday night, we look different and playing a bit differently as well with some different personnel.
You did touch back down from Brisbane yesterday. What did you make of that match simulation hit out?
Yeah, I thought it was, as with all match simulation or practice games, that there's always some good and bad. And, I thought there was probably more positives than negatives, which was great, certainly personnel-wise and team-wise, that we looked like we gelled pretty well together after a shaky first quarter, where a team like Brisbane make you pay if you make mistakes, and we made a few of those early and continued through the game. I mean, it's an imperfect game, so you're always going to have mistakes. It's how you bounce back from those and learn from them. And overall, I thought there was some positive stuff for us.
You did mention it is only February, but as a byproduct of those new players and coaches, it is fair to say we'll have a different looking side this year?
Yeah, we will, and I mean, potentially anywhere from 6 to 10 changes, to the team that played against Essendon in the last round last year, through to round 0 against Sydney. There could be a number of changes, which, as I said, is exciting, but how they gel together and work as a team is going to be the interesting part. And as I said, I think there's some excitement there, probably a bit of trepidation as well about what it looks like and how long it takes us to gel.
It is less than 2 weeks now until the club takes part in another AFL season opener. What is the general vibe around that Sydney clash on March 5?
I think everyone's really looking forward to it, and we knew last year, after obviously Charlie departed, that there was a potential for that being an early season game. Little did we know it was probably the opening game of the season. But I think that's exciting for all our members and supporters to, as I said, a new look team opening up the season against Sydney. We haven't won in Sydney for a long period of time, so we're really looking forward to the contest.
It was the first match for the wider group on Wednesday night, but yep. Patrick Cripps and Jacob Wiedering took part in State of Origin last week. A quick word on the concept and what you made of the game as a whole.
It was an exciting game. To see all those, obviously the best players in the competition, really, or particularly for those 2 states, but playing in an early season game, but a really quick game that in Perth, hot weather, looks like the ball pinged around a fair bit. So it was exciting from that point of view. No, we're a supporter of it. Great to see State of Origin come back, and it hasn't been played for such a long period of time. A little bit of heart and mouth when Jacob went down in the first quarter, but pleasingly he seems like he's bounced out of that okay, and hopefully are available for round 0 as well.
We're pretty fortunate to have some blockbusters early in the season once again, home games against Richmond and Collingwood inside the opening 6 rounds. How exciting and important is it for the club?
Oh yeah, absolutely exciting. Exciting for the club to play Richmond and Collingwood, Melbourne. I think Melbourne's round 3. Those 3 games at the MCG in the first 6 rounds. We've got Gather Round in the middle of that. And so that's exciting for our members to have big, as you said, blockbuster games at the MCG against traditional rivals. And we're certainly hopeful that we do well in them.
So much talk already heading into this season about 2 people out of contract leading into 2026. And we'll start with the coach. Where do things sit and what conversations have been had with Vossi about what the year will look like?
Well, there have been ongoing conversations from the back end of last year that everyone's aware of. As I said, we're really aligned with where we see it. The biggest focus for us is on the change around the football club. As I said before, 11 new players, 6 new coaches, how they're gelling together, our environment overall, and it's getting better every day. So that'll play out over a period of time, but we're really comfortable where it sits.
The other one is Sam Walsh with media reports last week saying he could be close to committing his long-term future to the footy club. Can you provide Carlton fans with an update on where that stands, and are you happy with how those conversations are tracking?
Yeah, we are. I think Sam wants to be here, which is first and foremost the most important thing, and we really want him to stay. So you should be able to find a middle ground there where everyone's comfortable. But as I said, ongoing conversations with his management around what that looks like, and Sam. And as I said, pleasingly, I think we're heading in the right direction. But as I said at the AGM as well, until people sign it, you never quite know, and things can go in different ways. But we're excited and hopeful that that happens sooner rather than later.
We've heard players, coaches, staff, even fans speak about the energy shift around the club over the off-season. I'm sure the Icon Park environment is something that's front of mind for you as CEO. What have you made of that shift over the summer?
Yeah, I think it's been exciting. Whenever you have a number of players leave your club and then you have others come into your club, but also too personnel and coaches and players and staff and admin staff. I mean, you always got change at footy club. That's inevitable, and I've been really excited by that. I feel that it's been really positive and really culturally, I think, been a real positive as well. I think that the football department and the locker room, so to speak, is in a really good place, and the guys are enjoying to come to work every day and get to work. And from that perspective, I think we're excited, and maybe off the back of even our W team at the back end of last year, that real exciting, fun environment that hopefully bodes well for a good season for our men.
What's your approach to balance, I guess, supporting people in that enjoyment while also maintaining accountability and high performance across all areas?
I think you have to have accountability is just part of any business really, but from a football perspective and a business perspective, we have to have KPIs around what we do and be accountable for what we do. But you want to have fun coming to work, and football clubs invariably are a hell of a lot more fun when you're winning than losing. So we're hopeful that we're winning more games than we're losing, and as I said, we've got that good fun environment. But the other part is that you want to come in on a Monday really level and not knowing whether we won or lost, and having the place not people aren't walking around on eggshells, that they're enjoying themselves and having fun at the footy club. When
you mention those KPIs, can you give Carlton supporters some insight into what those might be leading into 2026?
No, not really. No, when I say KPIs, the football department have KPIs over a whole range of things that they do, whether they be, and that can be training, but it can be in-game, whether it be inside 50s, whether it be contested ball clearances, a whole range of different KPIs that they'll look at. And that's obviously for the coaches to determine. But those things don't rely on the result. The result's more I suppose, relying on how they and can they hit their KPIs during the game. So that's what I meant from that.
This pre-season has seen a big increase in open training sessions just about every week at Icon Park since the end of last year. How promising has that been for you, and will that continue during the season?
Yeah, it'll continue. Absolutely. Yeah, we've had good conversation with our football department. I think the one thing is that we get the advantage of doing is not having people in, which a lot of other clubs don't get, where they're open to the public all the time because of where they're situated and their ground is open. Where we can shut the doors if the guys want to practice something different or try something different that they haven't in a game perspective, but primarily we want to make sure that we're open every week and our members and supporters can come in and watch us train and connect with the club and connect with the players.
Another great day was a fortnight ago where over 1,600 people came along to the Run for Respect. What does an event in the Carlton Respects initiative mean to you and the footy club?
It's our number one thing that we do from a community perspective about how we lean into Carlton Respects, and we have our game during the year in our men's and women's team. It's an enormous community aspect of what we do, and our social aspect of what we do, and such an important program from a club perspective, but a wider community perspective as well. So having 1,600 people here was fantastic, and we're hoping to grow that into more next year. I know a lot of funds were raised from a charity perspective as well, and we had, I think, 25, 26 of our men players here, and a number of our female women's players here as well. So that was great, and they're coming along, giving their time. They're not getting AFL hours, or they're not being sponsored to be here. They want to be here, which is great, and it's a great initiative from our club.
When will things pick up for the AFLW season after that busy end to the season, and what can fans look forward to with a few new recruits as well?
Well, today's, I think, the 20th of Feb is their blackout day, where they can officially come in, which is great. But a number of the girls have been through and training already, and yeah, I mean, we're really excited with the changes that we made off the back end of last season. I feel that the group have really traded well. We've done well in the draft, and we should be looking for an exciting 2026 as well. But as I said, the girls will be a big part of what we're doing over this period until their games start in late July, early August, I think.
You touched on this before, but is it fair to say the AFL program have looked to continue that infectious energy that began with the AFLW team at the end of 2025?
Yeah, we hope so. I think it goes hand in hand that you want to have fun, but you want to win, and which one comes first, I suppose. But off the back end of last year, I thought our girls were really exciting and having fun, and I've seen that before in football clubs where, if you are having fun and you're enjoying what you're doing, that in a lot of cases your performance really rolls along with that as well. So yeah, we're hopeful of that in our men's program.
Did you join in with the line dancing of the Veronicas with the AFLW group at any point?
That's right. I drew the line right there. So no line dancing for me. That'd get pretty ugly.
The club did undertake a significant project last year with the launch of the imaging centre downstairs, which is a key revenue stream for the club over the coming years. Are there any other significant projects off the field that we'll look to undertake this year?
No, not at this stage. Yeah, as you said, opening that has been significant for us, which opened in June last year and already ahead of budget projections from that perspective. So we're really happy with the way that's going. As you said, a joint venture with Imaging Associates, which has been fantastic and been great for our players. That any of our players, men's, women's, staff from that perspective have been able to go in there and have scans or X-rays or whatever's actually required, and you get sort of real-time results without actually having to leave the facility. But the bigger picture is from a community perspective that it's available to all, obviously, doctors and patients around our area and beyond that as well. So no, it's been fantastic for us.
You mentioned at the AGM that a new department was created at the club shortly after you began, and it specialises in data, tech and AI. Can you go into any further detail about that?
Yeah, well, it's an area obviously I think all clubs are pushing into quite heavily, and ours being no different from that perspective. But creating a department that basically has a focus on everything we're doing from our data, tech, privacy, all of those areas and AI obviously is hugely important for us. And bringing in Anthony Stortis, who heads up that department, he's been great, hit the ground running. He'll also have an involvement with our football program as well, and having come through from a footy background, so he's up to speed with the latest and greatest of what you need in those areas as well. But we all know that's advancing at a very quick rate, and how we keep on I suppose our foot on the throttle there, and how do we get up to speed and get better in all those areas. There
wouldn't be a day that goes by, mate, without you discussing the club with a member in some way, shape or form. What has been the main theme of your conversations with Carlton people over the last 6 to 12 months?
Probably just the change, that there's been a lot of change, and that's me as well, obviously coming into the role, and Chris Davies, and obviously changing over in relation to players and coaches and what it'll look like. I think everyone's genuinely excited that we've got some good stuff ahead of us, but as I said before, does that take a little bit of time to gel, and what does that look like? As I said, I think members and supporters have been pretty positive.
There will be some Carlton fans watching this who haven't yet quite signed up as a member for 2026. Why should they?
As I said, I think you're going to see some exciting footy and some different footy to what we've probably played previously, where we move the ball quicker. We've got new talent in different areas. A number of young players coming through. Your Lords. Hopefully, we get Jagger Smith into the team, and Harry Dean from a father-son perspective. So some young players coming through that we're excited about their development, where they can get to. But also too, we've got a lot of high-quality players, whether it be Walshy, Cripper, Weeders, these sort of guys that have been outstanding players for us and are still in the primes of their career. So overall, I'd get on board and encourage everyone to be a part of it.
You mentioned that game style and game plan. Has that been a conscious effort from the footy department about kind of injecting that new look and exciting feel into the way we play?
Yeah, I think so, and it comes with personnel. The change in personnel means that you can play a bit differently, and also new IP from the coaches that have come in from other clubs about the way the game's moving, the way the game's changed, and bringing us, I suppose, forward on that journey. But it comes with personnel, IP, coaching changes, the whole lot, as to the way we want to play. But yeah, that's been really with them, not me, obviously. But I've been excited by what I've seen in the first part.
I know you've observed Carlton for a long time, mate. The club recently launched its Like No Other membership campaign, but your lived experience, is that very much the case of this footy club?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it is like no other, and there's so much, as you've seen in the branding of that we resonate with a whole range of different people and different diversities across the country, really, and not just here in Carlton. It's exciting from the perspective of what we bring and what we do. But we're, as I said, excited. I think I've said excited a bit today.
It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. Two last ones to finish off, mate.
No worries.
On and off the field, I guess, what does Carlton look like when it's at its very best?
I think when it's united, and it's aligned, and it's everyone going in the same direction, and that we want people to be pulling for us to do well and getting behind us when it's not quite going well. So I'd say united, and obviously it's one of our values and one of the ones we hold dear.
And what does success look like for Carlton in 2026?
That's a good question. I think more wins than losses, and a brand of footy that people like watching, and young players coming into the team, new players coming into the team that are providing a level of enjoyment from our members' perspective.
So just on the record, you are excited?
Very excited.
Thanks, Wright.
Thanks, mate.